This one's for the punks. The Rise and Fall of El Duce, a tale of chaos and controversy. Eldon Hoke, better known as El Duce, was born on March 23, 1958 in Seattle, Washington. From a young age, it was clear that Eldon was not your average kid. While most children dreamed of becoming astronauts or firefighters, Eldon had a flair for the outrageous. Growing up in a tumultuous household, he quickly learned that humor and shock value were his tools for surviving the chaos. Teachers described him as a class clown, but his antics often went far beyond the typical pranks. He was already pushing boundaries, delighting in making people uncomfortable. By his teenage years, Eldon's antics had escalated. He developed a fascination with the punk rock scene that was exploding in the late 1970s, but he felt it lacked the edge he craved. Punk rockers were rebels, sure, but they weren't shocking enough for Eldon. Inspired by his love of dark humor and his disdain for societal norms, he co-founded the Mentors in 1976 alongside guitarist Eric Carlson, also known as Sicky Wifebeater, and bassist Steve Broy, also known as Dr. Heathen Scum. The Mentors didn't just play music, they performed what could only be described as a grotesque, boundary-pushing spectacle. With Eldon as their frontman and drummer, they donned black executioner hoods and sang songs that were deliberately offensive, peppered with explicit lyrics and controversial themes. Their self-described grape rock genre was designed to provoke outrage, and it succeeded in spades. Critics lambasted their music as depraved and vile, while fans lauded them for their fearless mockery of societal taboos. El Duce reveled in the controversy. He appeared on notorious talk shows like The Jerry Springer Show and Hot Seat with Wally George, leaning into his persona as an unrepentant provocateur. On these shows, Eldon defended the Mentors' lyrics, often with a twisted smile and a sense of humor that left audiences unsure whether he was joking or dead serious. "It's just satire," he would say, but his deadpan delivery left little room for reassurance. To many, he was a caricature of depravity. To others, he was a cultural pioneer using shock as a mirror to society's hypocrisies. Beyond his musical career, Eldon dabbled in acting. He appeared as an extra in movies like Two Idiots in Hollywood and Population 1, alongside his bandmate Tamara Duplanty. He even popped up in an episode of Tales from the Crypt, but it was his role in music videos that brought him into the orbit of major artists. The Mentors' influence was undeniable. Bands like Guns N' Roses and Anthrax quoted their lyrics, and their songs were later covered by acts like Gwar and Black Label Society. Yet for all his humor and bravado, Eldon Hoke was a deeply troubled individual. Friends and bandmates described him as someone who lived life on the edge, constantly teetering between genius and madness. His drinking was legendary. He was rarely seen without a beer in hand, and his wild lifestyle only added fuel to the fire of his public persona. The controversies surrounding El Duce reached their peak in 1996, when he claimed during an interview that Courtney Love had offered him $50,000 to kill Kurt Cobain. The claim, made during a segment of Kurt and Courtney, sent shockwaves through the music world. Whether Eldon was telling the truth or simply seeking attention, the statement added a sinister layer to his already notorious reputation. Tragically, Eldon's life came to an abrupt and mysterious end. On April 19, 1997, just days after giving the interview about Courtney Love, he was found dead on railroad tracks in Riverside, California. He had reportedly been hit by a train. The circumstances of his death were murky at best. Witnesses claimed he had been drinking heavily that day, and some speculated it was an accident. Others whispered darker theories suggesting foul play. The truth remains unknown. In death, Eldon Hoke became a symbol of rebellion and excess. While many dismissed him as a vulgar shock artist, others recognized the subversive genius behind his antics. The Mentors' influence can still be felt in the music world, where artists continue to push boundaries and challenge societal norms, often citing El Duce as an inspiration. Today, Eldon Hoke is remembered as a chaotic force of nature, a man who laughed in the face of convention and lived life on his own terms, no matter the cost. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that El Duce left an indelible mark on music and pop culture, a legacy as raw and unapologetic as the man himself. Be sure to subscribe for more true stories of classic rock.